What was it about this script that first drew you both in? What made you gravitate towards this?
The first thing that grabbed me was just that James Gunn had written it. That was really exciting to see his name on a script that, if you know his earlier work, it's not so much of a departure, but now he's gotten, very famous for Guardians of the Galaxy, which is a little slightly more wholesome than a movie like this one. But that kind of made me tear into it because I was excited to see what he had written. And then it really blew my mind. It's a really intense and kind of unforgiving, like very bold script. And then meeting Greg, the director, and finding out that Tony was doing it, and it just started to come together in a way where I definitely wanted to be a part of the experience.
What about you, man?
Similarly, I was really attracted to the fact that James had written it, and as I got about, 10 or 15 pages into it, I couldn't believe that someone was making this movie. I thought that is a bold financier who's good. You just think a studio to go, this movie's too intense. We can't do this. You can't do it. That was exciting to me. And then when I met with Greg, our director, I felt very much that what would make the movie really work and be good is if it felt very real and human. And the dilemma of the movie, as outrageous and operatic as what James wrote is, that it feel very authentic. And that's exactly what they were trying to achieve. And when I watched Greg's movie Wolf Creek, which is a harrowing film because it's so real, I thought, oh, we're in good hands. And then, this great cast was coming together, so I wanted to jump in.
For you, John, I don't know if this was part of the big vision board for you, but you're now kind of jumping in a new direction, kind of like Bruce Willis in Die Hard and Stallone in Rambo. You're kind of a badass action hero now.
That's why I did it. It's funny. I've never really done any high concept kind of action genre type of movie before ever in my life, and then in the last couple of years I did like 3 in a row, this one being the most extreme of them all. But what I really liked about it was that it reminded me, not to say that I would react in any of the same ways that my character Mike does, but a guy that really is just trying to do what he believes is moral and just, and is kind of swept up in the current of this madness of trying to survive in this weird situation. I liked the way it was written, that it was like he was kind of a reluctant action star. Like, he didn't ask for it. He just kind of got thrown into it. I thought that James wrote that in a kind of refreshing way, that it never really like poked fun at the fact that he's out of his element. It just kind of happened. And I thought that was a really cool take on having that be your kind of one of the main protagonists of an action movie. I'd never really read anything quite like it before.
And hand in hand with action star goes sex symbol. So you ready for that? You bracing for the onslaught?
Bring it all on, I say.
Tony, on television, you star as President of the United States. Mm-hmm. How different would you say the character is you're playing in this one?
Very different. It was cool to look at authority from a different perspective, honestly, because, I've been spending now, we're in the 6th year of sort of being the kind of authority figure that I am, that my slightly complicated president is. But Barry Norris is running this company and is in charge of this group of people and is faced with a terrible crisis that has no good solution, which is not dissimilar from what the President of the United States has to deal with on a daily basis. His choices are, there's no arm's length transactions in the Belko experiment. It's like, people are going to die, and what are we going to do about it? And we're all at risk. It was kind of an interesting, different kind of authority figure to step into.
And trying to figure out how to solve this on the fly.
Yeah, and to make him really human. That was my whole thing, was, not to, because Norris ends up being kind of the heavy of the thing. It was important to Greg and James and me, all of us, that he be trying to do the right thing for the greatest number of people. And then, of course, he kind of loses his mind, as does almost everybody in the film, about halfway through.